All right, just like I said, we are going to be building a live dashboard tonight with the analysis that we were able to conclude yesterday. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and start the process. So for us to build a dashboard, the one of the things we need to do is get a blank sheet. Get a blank sheet. So I'm going to just create a new sheet here. And under my new sheet, I'm going to name it as dashboard. I'm going to name that sheet as dashboard. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do, I want this old new sheet, I want it to be blank. I want it to be blank, which means I want to remove all these grid lines. These grid lines are all these lines that separates each individual cell. So I'm going to remove all of them. And to remove all of them, I'll just go to view. I'm going to go to view. And then right here, you can see the grid lines. You can see there's a command here saying grid lines. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to tick it. I'm going to untick it. And the moment I did that, can you see all the grid lines have disappeared? All the grid lines have disappeared, which is giving me a blank canvas to actually do to build my dashboard. Now I can go ahead. Remember yesterday I said the dominant tool that you're going to be using to build your dashboard is are shapes. The dominant tool that you're going to be using to build your dashboard are shapes. And the shape that we're going to be using most is the rectangle. So let me first of all insert my first rectangle. So like I said, to get your shapes, we should all know where to get shapes by now. You go to insert shapes and I pick up the first shape, which is a rectangle. So now remember yesterday, I said one of the very first things you need to do before you start building your dashboard is to actually map out the area of your dashboard. You can do that on a piece of paper. Just draw it out. Right now, we're going to be drawing a dashboard in a landscape orientation. So map out your dashboard according to your orientation and then divide your dashboard according to the areas, according to the compulsory areas and the number of charts that you have. So the first thing I'm going to be mapping out, the first area I'm going to be mapping out is I'm going to be mapping out an area for my dashboard title. Remember, I said the dashboard has to have a title. The dashboard has to have a title. So over here will be the area that I've designated for my dashboard title. So I'm just going to change that particular. I'm going to give it this color. I'm going to give it this color. Rosemary, you're asking me how I remove the grid lines. You need to pay attention because this is a very, very key class, how to build dashboard. So you need to pay attention. So I'm just going to do it once more. How did I remove grid lines? So how did I remove grid lines? What I just simply did is I came to view. I came to view, and then there's grid lines here. If you see where my mouse is, this is grid lines. If I click on it, it will bring it back. Can you see that the grid lines are back? The grid lines are just the lines that separate each cell. So when I click on it, I don't want it because I want to build a dashboard. So I need a blank canvas. That's why I got rid of the grid lines. So please, I'll need everybody's attention in this class so that you understand what I'm doing. So the next thing I did, I just inserted a shape. I've not gone far. I just inserted this shape and I said you need to map out the areas for your dashboard. And that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm mapping out the area for the dashboard title. So inside here, that is where my dashboard title is going to be. So I'm just going to get a text box. I'm going to get a text box and I'm going to write my dashboard title. So the dashboard title is Adidas sales dashboard. That's the name of my dashboard. So I'm just going to make this a bit bigger, make it bold. I'm going to reduce the size of my text box to fit that. And after that, I'll take it into my dashboard, into my shape there. But you can see, because it's a text box, it has a background. So for me to remove the background, I taught us this last class. I simply go to shape formats and I come to shape fill. I select no fill. Now that's done for that. But if you look at it, it still has a line. The written words, the text box still has a line. So I'm just going to go back and then I'm going to come to shape outline this time around and remove the outline. I remove the outline and then I'm just going to give this a white color. I'm going to give this a white color so that it's very, very bold. Now can you see? So let me place it somewhere here. All right. So now that is that for that. I've already mapped out my an area for my dashboard title, and I've already named my dashboard Adidas Sales Dashboard. All right. So now let us continue. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I am going to be I want to get a background. I'm going to get another shape, or possibly let me take this shape and copy it. So I want to create a background. I want to get a background for my this thing, but not this color. So I'm going to change the color. I want something a bit faint, something like this. Okay. And I don't want any line with that. All right. So this is what I want. I've gotten a background for my dashboard. I'm sorry, I'm getting some complaints of people cannot hear me. Please, if you can still hear me, please just signify. One or two people will be fine. If you can still hear me, all right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So now let us continue. So I've gotten a background for my this thing. So now I'm going to now start mapping my dashboard. I'm going to start dividing my dashboard according to the number of charts I have there. So I have 13 charts, and I'll just start mapping them out now. So I'll first of all draw. This is what I mean. I'm going to draw something like this. This is where my first charts will be hosted. So I don't want a field there. So I want it to be blank, and I want it to have a thick line. I want the line to be thick a bit, and I want the line to also have this color. All right, so my first chart will actually be placed there. So you can do all this on a piece of paper, just like I said yesterday, before you start. You can do all this on a piece of paper before you start. Now, I'm just going to do something else. Now, what I'm just doing is mapping. I am dividing the dashboards. I'm dividing them according to the charts that I'm going to be having. So I'm going to duplicate this and bring it close to this place. You can make this a little bit small. Make this a little bit small. Then let me get another one. I'm going to duplicate this. Hold on. So this will be placed underneath here. Now, the reason why this is easy for me to do is because I've already mapped out all this on a piece of paper. I already have them somewhere on a piece of paper. So I am just drawing it according to my plan. It's just like a contractor that already knows what is going to build. So it's just to follow the plan. It's just to follow the plan of what I've already set out to build. So it is easier when you already know, when you already have it on paper. It's easier when you already have it on paper. So you just implement whatever whatever you want your design to take take shape. So mapping it out is one of the first things you need to do. So that once you have it on a piece of paper, you just replicate. You just replicate whatever you have on a piece of paper. It makes your work much simpler and even faster. Okay. All right. So I've mapped out areas for 4 charts. Let me put one more here. Let me put one more here. Now, a tool that you can use to make, now if you guys should look at, all my charts are currently aligned. If you look at all the lines that are between the charts, there is no chart that is out of place. All of them are starting on the same line and finishing on the same line. Now, this is easy for me because have been doing this for a while. Now, for you newbies, you can actually use a ruler. I'm talking about a physical ruler. I'm talking about a physical ruler. You can actually use a ruler and place it on your screen to measure them effectively. If you cannot get the accurate measurement by dragging it with your mouse, you can actually use a ruler to get your measurements. You can actually use a ruler to get your measurements to make sure that these shapes are well aligned. They are starting in the same place and they are ending in the same place. So right now, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to increase my background. I'm going to increase my background. And let's see, I'm going to build one more. Let me shorten this a bit. I'm going to shorten this here. Then let me copy and paste that and bring it somewhere. So guys, just like I say, what I'm following is my own template. What I've already mapped out on a piece of paper. I am following what I've already mapped out on a piece of paper. So like I said, that's one of the first things you need to do. And it makes your work much more faster and even neater. Okay. So I'm just going to duplicate this also and put it somewhere here and then reduce this. So you can see the reason why I said you need to use a ruler. Every single thing is aligned. They are all starting at the same place and it makes your dashboard look very professional. Now it is very easy for me to do because I'm used to doing it. But for you, for new guys, you can just employ the use of a ruler. Just place your ruler on your screen and use it to determine where a chart is going to be, where those shapes are starting and where they are stopping. So let me get this down. I'm just going to place this somewhere here. Let me reduce this. So before I go ahead, let us count the number of charts we have because every single chart that we built yesterday must fit into this dashboard that we are building. So now let me count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have 13 charts. What we did yesterday was 13 analysis. So now let us look at this dashboard. Let me just make it a little bit small so that we can see it at glance. Now, let me see how many places have I mapped out. Let's check it out together. How many places have I mapped out for my chart? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've mapped out 8 places for my chart. I need 5 more. I need 5 more. So now let us continue. Let us continue mapping it out. Let us continue mapping out. Let us continue mapping out. So I'm just going to get this. So let me adjust this. Okay. And let me get something. So we've done 9. It's gonna be 10. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to increase my background. I'm going to increase my background a bit I'm going to increase the width. And then surely I have to adjust this. So let me reduce this. So I just need three more charts, three more placings. So I can bring this here. Okay. So over here, I'm just going to reduce this. I'm going to reduce this. And paste this side by side. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, I am done with my dashboard mapping. Now, if you count all the shapes there, they are actually 13 in number, which means I am ready to place all my charts in these containers. You can call them containers. I have already mapped out according to what I have on my piece of paper. So now the next thing for me now to do is now to be bringing the charts and be placing them into each of these boxes. Into each of these boxes. So now let us go ahead and do that. Let us go ahead and do that. So the very first, I'll just go to the very first chart. The very first chart is our revenue per product. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to copy. I'm going to copy it and go to my dashboard and paste it. I'm going to copy it and then I'm going to paste it there. So when it is here, I'll just do some little adjustments. Now, this chart has a background. What I'm first going to do, I'm going to remove the background. I'll go to format, come to shape fill, and then I click on no fill. I also don't want it to have an outline. So I don't want it to have a line, so I remove the outline. And then I position. Now I'll just have to do a little adjusting because it's slightly out of its designated shape. So I'll just do a little bit of adjusting. And that's that. That chart has already been fixed in that particular shape. So I go for the next one. Which is product per unit sold. So I do the same thing, repeat the same process. I copy, and then I go to my dashboard and I paste. So I repeat the same process I did earlier. Now this is supposed to be in the second one. So I'm going to format it, remove the background and remove the line that follows, and then try to paste it in there. So let me adjust that. Just going to adjust so it fits. Okay. All right. So when you are building your dashboard, you need to take a whole lot of time to, you don't need to rush. Your dashboard is not something that you need to rush in. You can see how I'm taking my time to resize and making sure that it fits. So you have to put a whole lot of effort and then you're patient. If you know you made a mistake, there's nothing stopping you from actually canceling it and doing it again. Because remember, it is your dashboard that you're going to present to your stakeholders. It is your dashboard that you are going to present to your stakeholders. So it needs to look very presentable. It needs to look very presentable. So now we've done this one. Let's go for the next one. Sales per month. Sales per month. So this is a line chart that denotes the sales for each month that we have there. So I go to my dashboard and I paste. Now let me remove the, so right here, I'm going to put it here. I think this will accommodate it because it's actually big. I'm going to put it somewhere here. Yeah. So let me just increase. All right. So I think this is good. This is good. Yeah. So you can see how we are populating each of those shapes now. And as I said, you need to map because we've already mapped it, because we've already built this dashboard down already. It is very, very easy for me to carry these charts and paste them where they are supposed to be. So right now I'm going for the next charts to uh, okay, so we are going for the next chart, which is sales per year. So this is a pie chart. So I'm just going to copy and then go back to my dashboard. And then I'm going to paste it. Now I'm just going to be repeating the same process that I've done for the last three charts. I'm going to format this by removing the background and removing the outline. And I'll take it to where I want to paste that. Let me remove that. Okay. So let me paste it here. So for my data labels or for my legend, I want to put my legend at the top. I can change the position of my legend. My legend is where my mouse is, 2020 and 2021. Blue for 2020, orange for 2021. So they are actually at the right, but I can change their position by coming to legend and clicking on the arrow beside. So I'm just going to put it at the top. So now you can see my legend is now at the top, not on the right. So I did that just to maximize the space for that particular chart. So let me adjust it better. So building a dashboard requires a lot of precision. Yeah, it's not something you rush through because you want to quickly finish it. It's not something you rush through. So it takes a lot of precision and a lot of patience. You can see how I'm taking my time to actually get it very, very placed in the right places. So now let's go ahead. So the next chart you are selecting now after sales per year, let us see total sales per retailer. So let's copy this. Let's copy this and let's go to our dashboard. So we're taking this to the right of our dashboard. So we repeat the same process. So by now, you guys should already know, have some idea on how to drag and drop your charts. So you can see how easy it is for me to do. And this is because I'd already mapped out my areas. It's not, I don't need to adjust most things, just little adjusting and then it fits in. And then it fits in because I already know the number of charts I want and I've already built the shapes that I know will accommodate most of these charts. So the modifications I'm doing are just minor and it makes my work it makes my work much easier. And the next one, we are going to top 10 states per operating profit. This is quite large. So we copy and then let's go look for where we're going to paste that. So this is a large chart. We need to look for a big area. Okay. So let me paste it first. This is it right here. This is it right here. So let me move that. Let me bring it down. I'm going to just remove the background. I'm going to put it somewhere here. I'm going to put it somewhere here. Yes. And I'll just adjust. I'll just adjust a bit so that it fits. All right. So we are making progress. That has already been that has already been populated. We still have some charts there. So now let's go to the next one. So the next chart there is total sales of profit per region. This was the chart that we applied a filter to yesterday. So let's paste that too. It's right here. Let me take it into the dashboard. Let me take it into the dashboard. I'm going to remove the shape outline and the shape fill and place it somewhere here. Now just adjust so that it fits. All right, let me increase these ones. Yeah, someone is asking me, will the filter still work on the dashboard? Yes, it will. Now look at it. It will still work. This is the filter right here. And if I should change it to Midwest and click on OK, can you see it's still changing? It will still work on your dashboard because it's still the same chart. It will still work. Let me change it. Let me change it to Southeast. Keep your eye on the chart and I click on OK. Can you see it's changing? So it doesn't stop it from working. But right now, let me just select all so that it's the whole regions that is showing. So that is the whole information for the whole regions. All right. So that's that for that. So now let's go back and select more. So the next one we are selecting right now is sales. Have we selected this? Okay. Sales and profit per product. Sales and profit per product. So let's paste that. So let us paste that into still have some spaces up here. So I think this should fit. This should fit here. So let me adjust this. So over here too, and my legend, I'm going to change the position of my legend. I want it to be at the top because of space. So you can see now my legends are at the top, and then I can adjust this to fit into that container. To fit into that container. Let me bring it up a bit. And I can bring this one down. All right. So let's go back and pick another chart. Operating profit per sales method. This is a pie chart. So let's look for our dashboard. We're almost done populating, I think so. So, coming. My pie chart should be somewhere here. Yes, this is it. So let me take it to where I want to paste it. The pie chart. Okay, let me do my formatting first. So the pie chart really doesn't require much space. So I'm just going to put it in this. I'm going to put it in this. So I'm going to change my legend position to be at the top instead of the right. Okay, that's done. So I can just adjust that very well. All right. So this is good right here. This is good right here. Okay, now let's look for the next chart. Next chart is total sales and operating profit per sales method. So let me paste that here. It should be at the top. Okay, here it is. Here it is. So that can fit. All right. So that can fit into one of these last ones here. I can fit into here. So I'm just going to format it. Put my data, my legends rather, at the top. And then let me place it. And then I simply edit. All right. So this is done. This is done. And you guys are seeing that our dashboard is taking shape. We are just left with few more charts to populate. So we've done this. The next one is units sold and total price per product. Let me do for my dashboard and I paste. So it's going to be somewhere here. It's right here. So let me drag it to where I'm going to need it. For that, let me format it with with what we've been using so far. I'm going to remove the background and the line. And then I'm going to put it somewhere here. So my legends also, I want it to be at the top. So I have much space. And then I can now fill in. I'm filling this whole area. All right. Okay. So I think we are left with just two empty spaces. So let's look for the last two. So this is units sold per year. So this can be somewhere here. I'm just going to remove the fill and the outline. I'm going to change my legend also and put it at the top. So now let us go and fix it. So let me put it somewhere here. This is too big. Let me reduce it. All right. So this is good to go. Then lastly, Our last chart will be this. Will this be enough? Will this be enough space? So let me move this one down here. Let me move this one down here. So I can have this one right here. I'm just going to fix this in here. Let me change my legend with at the top. All right. So let me make this bit bolder. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the conclusion of the first dashboard that we've built in tonight's class. So let me take it out a bit. Let me make it a bit smaller so we can all see everything at once. So you can see, this is simply, we all did this analysis together yesterday in last night's class. So what we just did right now is harmonizing, bringing all those charts together as one into our dashboard. So right now, whoever we are sending this analysis to, or whoever we are doing this analysis for, can see the all the charts, all the analysis at a glance, can see all the analysis at a glance. And so this is how you guys are supposed to do yours too. You take a whole lot of time in doing it. Map out. Once you map out your AIs, I bet you, once you map out your dashboard ahead, I bet you it will make it much easier, because right now you know where to place each of your charts. So you can see we did this thing in less than, will I say, 30 minutes. It was very, very easy. It was just copying and pasting and then dragging and adjusting. And that was because I've already had this on a paper ahead. I'd already done this on a paper before I started the class. So I already knew how many charts I was building. So that made me divide it into sections. And this is, you can do that on your own. You don't need to follow this my template. You can divide the sections according to how you want them to appear. So how you want them to appear. So you just copy and then you paste and then you do that. All right. So now we're going to be moving on to, someone said they cannot find your shape. Your shape will be in insert. For some people, you will not see shapes. You will see illustrations. Click on illustrations. Under illustrations, you see shapes. So Ayobami, I hope you've been able to see that. Or you might not see, go to insert. You might not see shapes the way mine is showing shapes, but you will see illustrations. When you click on illustrations, you also see shape. All right. So the next thing we are going to take in class tonight, is how to use slicers. On your dashboard. But before I teach you before I teach you how to use a slicer, what is even a slicer, or what are slicers? What is even a slicer, or what are slicers? So slicers are simply advanced filtering tools. They are advanced filtering tools. They allow you to filter through your charts. They allow you to filter your charts, all the charts on your dashboard. They allow you to filter them. So they are advanced filtering tools, and I'm going to show you how it works. So these slicers, it allows you to do even more advanced analysis. Now look at all the analysis that we have now. We have different charts showing different analysis. But with a slicer, I will even be able to show more. With this analysis I have, I'll be able to do more. I'll be able to visualize more, just because I can filter each and every single chart. And where do I get my filter? Now, let me first of all, I can go to any page, go to any analysis, just choose anyone. Just choose any of the sheets that you just choose anyone. So for you to get a slicer, you must either be clicked in your pivot table. Your cursor should either be on your pivot table or should be on your charts. You should be clicked on either one of them. So now, if you are clicked on your charts, if you look up here at this menu, there's a menu called Pivot Chart Analyze, and that is because you are clicked on your charts. If you are clicked on your pivot table, it will change to Pivot Table Analyze. Can you see? Because I'm clicked on my pivot table now, it's showing me Pivot Table Analyze. But if I should click on my chart, it's going to be showing me pivot chart analyze. Now, both of them are the same thing. Both of them are the same thing. So to choose a chart, to choose a slicer, simply click on pivot chart analyze or pivot table analyze. Simply click on pivot chart analyze or pivot table analyze. Before I go ahead, I just want to address Emmanuel Priska. You said you used a map for your operating profit. I said it yesterday. You are not wrong because you used a map chart. You are not wrong. I'm not expecting you to use the same chart as me. That's why I taught you guys a range of charts. So as long as your analysis is correct, you can use the chart you feel will represent your data more. So you are not wrong because you use the chart. You don't have to use the chart I used to be correct. All right. So now let us go ahead. So I said click on either pivot table chart, pivot table analyze, or pivot chart analyze. So when you click on that, this is where you are coming to inside slicer. This is where you insert a slicer. So you click on it. Now, once you click a slicer, it's going to bring this dialog box for us. It's going to bring the dialog box for us. Who can tell me what all these items in the dialog box represent? All these things that we are seeing here, who can tell me what it represents? Anybody? Who can tell me what it represents? Yes, the columns on the data set, the column headers. Thank you very much. The column headers, which means your slicer, what you're going to be using as a slicer will be any of the column headers. And remember, I said your slicer is simply an advanced filtering tool, which means I am going to pick a column header that is going to filter through my old charts or through my old dashboard. That is what it simply means. I am going to pick a column header or multiple column headers that will simply filter through all my data. That is what this slicer does. So now let me pick one slicer to start with. So I'm going to pick the year slicer. I'm going to pick the year slicer. I click on it. When you have picked a slicer, tick on the checkbox beside it and click on OK. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a slicer. This is how a slicer looks like. And because I picked the year slicer, it has told me the 2 years that we have on our data set, which is 2020 and 2021. It has told me the 2 years that we have in that data set, which is 2020 and 2021. So this is a slicer. So now after creating a slicer, remember I said this slicer is supposed to filter through your old chart, all the charts that you have built. It's supposed to interact with each and every one of those charts. Your slicer is supposed to interact with each and every single chart that you have built. So after you have already gotten your slicer, now you need to connect this slicer to all your charts, all the 13 charts that we have on our dashboard. You need to connect this one slicer to all of them so that this slicer will be able to interact or filter every single chart you have. Now, how do you connect this slicer to all your charts? It is very, very simple. Just bring your cursor to the heading here. You can see where my cursor is. Put your cursor there and right click. Put your cursor there and right click, and then come to report connections. This is where I'm coming to report connections. Report connections. So you click report connections, and then over here, another dialog box will be brought out. Let me maximize this so that we will see. Another one will be brought out. So if you guys see, now these are all the charts that we have in this sheet, in this workbook that we have. These are all the charts that we've created. If you count them, they are all up to 13. So this is where you will connect that particular slicer to all those charts. And what do? You simply tick on every single chart. You select every single chart. You tick on every one of them to connect to one. If you miss out on a chart, it is not going to connect to that chart. Then after doing that, you click on OK. Now, this slicer has been connected to every single chart that we have on our dashboard. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this slicer now and take it to my dashboard. So I'm just going to do a Control C and go to my dashboard and paste it on my dashboard. So right now, it's somewhere here. So I'm going to find a position for it to put it on my dashboard. So slicers, if you have slicers on your dashboard, if you have slicers on your dashboard, slicers are always put at the top. Slicers are always put at the top of your data set. So what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to put my slicer here and reduce it a bit. So when you are clicked on the slicer, when you are clicked on the slicer, you will have a slicer menu. You guys should follow where my mouse is. You will have a slicer menu. So when I just want to split this my slicer into two columns. I'm going to click on this slicer, and over here I'm going to over here in columns, I'm going to put it two columns so that it splits it into two. And then I can reduce this. Now I have placed my slicer on my data set. Let me take it towards the end here. Now my slicer has been placed in my dashboard. Now let us take, remember I said the function of this slicer is to interact with all your charts. Now I am going to be clicking, remember I have 2 years here, 2020 and 2021. So I'll be clicking on each of those years, and please, everybody should keep an eye. Just pick any data set, just pick any chart and focus on that. You're going to see that the moment I pick on any year, the values of that chart will change. The value of that chart will change, and it will show the for the year that I'm selecting. For example, if I should, for example, let us take a look. Let us keep our concentration on this chart. Total sales per retailer. The moment I click on 2020, please let us watch. The moment I click on 2020, the values will mirror that of 2020. Now let us take a look. Please, did it change or not? Please, did you guys notice maybe it changed or not? Now let me click on 2021. The same thing also happened. Now it's not only that chart, it is happening across every single chart. It is happening across every single chart, and it is because we connected this slicer to all the charts. So now I am clicking on 2020. What this old dashboard is showing me now is just information for 2020. It's just information for 2020. If I should click on 2021, it's also going to display the information for 2021 to me. Now, did you guys see? It has changed again. Now, in 2021, for this particular chart, Foot Locker is the highest retailer. But in 2020, by 2020, WestJet is actually the highest retailer. So you can see how a slicer interacts with your data set. Now I am going to do that again. So I'm going to get rid of this slicer and do it from the beginning for those of us that missed out on it. So right now there's no slicer on the dashboard. I have deleted the slicer. So now let me go back there and create it again. I'm going to just delete it. I'm going to delete this. So now, this is how I said you get a slicer. Either click on your chart, or click on your pivot table. Either click on your chart or click on your pivot table. So if you are click on your chart, there's a functionality that says pivot chart analyze. This is it right here. Look at where my mouse is shaking. Because I've clicked on the chart, it's giving me pivot chart analyze. But if I should click on the pivot table, it's going to change to pivot table analyze. Both of them are the same thing. Both of them are, so I can just choose any one. So now I've selected it, pivot table analyze. What I'm looking for is insert slicer. So I click on the insert slicer. Now we all agree that everything you are seeing on this slicer are all our column headers from our data set. They are all our column headers from our data set. Now I'm going to choose another header apart from the year. So I'm going to choose region this time around. Click region, and then I do OK. So now it has created the region for me. I have 5 regions there: Midwest, Northeast, South, Southeast, and Southwest. So I can just reduce this in shape. And I said the moment you create your slicer, the next thing, which is very, very important, is to connect your slicer to all your charts. Connect your slicer to all your charts. And how do you do that? Right click at the header and come to report connections. This is it right here, report connections. Click on report connections. So once you click on that, it's also going to bring another dialog box. So I'm just going to expand that. So this is where you now come to select all your charts. You click on every single one of them. You click on every single one of them and then you do OK. Now this slicer has been connected to every chart that you have on your dashboard. So right now I can take this slicer to the dashboard. I'm just going to copy it and place it on my dashboard. So with that, and I said the normal position or the common position for a slicer is always at the top. So right now this slicer has 5 items. So I'm just going to go to the slicer column. I'm going to go to the slicer column and divide this into 5 columns. It's 5, and I'll just expand them and reduce and reduce. And that is the end of my slicer. So now I am going to now let us interact. Let us use this slicer to interact with our dashboard right now. So I'm going to be picking any region, but whatever region I pick, the whole chart on this dashboard will show me values for that particular region. So you can see that I am able to even show more analysis. Imagine I'm done with this dashboard now. I'm done with this old dashboard and I give it to my stakeholder. And then the stakeholder is telling me, oh, can I show all these charts? Can I give them only the values in the south? Can I show them the values in now? I've done for every single region, but right now they're only interested in the values in the south. You don't have to go back to your you don't have to go back to start all over or to start drawing charts for only the south. Just insert a slicer for the region, because south is a region. Insert a slicer, a region slicer, and then connect it to all the charts and simply come and choose region. The moment you choose region, now everybody should keep an eye. Just pick on any chart and focus on the chart. The moment I pick south, every single chart is going to change and it's going to be showing the value for only the southern region. Now I've done that. Now could you all see that the values have changed? Now everything that is showing me now is only for south. Is only for south. If you look at the sales per year, that means in sales per year for the south, the 2021 figure was 83% and the 2020 figure was 17%. Let us look at this northeast and look at the same information. Now for the northeast, we are still on sales per year. For the northeast, in 2021, there were 77% of sales, and in 2020, there were 23% of sales. Now, for that same information, let us look at the Midwest. In the Midwest, for the Midwest, in 2021, we had 95% of sales, and then 5% for 2020, 5% in 2020. So you can see different kind of information, but this with the same dashboard that we have already built. And that is what a slicer can do to help your dashboard become more interactive. So I'm seeing so many people with so many questions. All right. So let me take a break from now, right now. If you guys have any questions regarding what we did, now we've done 2 major things this night. We've been able to build a dashboard and we've been able to learn how to use a slicer. Now, if you guys have any questions about this, you know the drill. Please use the hand feature on Zoom, and then I'll be able to call you guys, and then you ask your question to everyone, to all of us in the class. So please use the hand function. If you have questions, use the hand feature, and I'll unmute you, and then you'll be able to tell us. Please, if your question is going to be something that we thought way back in the class or yesterday, I'm only going to refer you. I'm not going to teach it again. I'm only going to refer you to the video of yesterday. This is so as to save time and so that we can take more questions that concerns today's class. So if your question is about something that we trashed yesterday, I'm only going to advise you to pick up the video and take another watch. All right. So my first questioner of the day is Favor. Favor, I'm unmuting you now. So please go ahead and ask your question.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. Okay,
Mm.
my question is my the chart I brought into the boxes for me to remove the what how like put this now the background color. There's no area where because I'm using a different Excel. My Excel is an online one, so I can't remove the background color. If I bring in the charts into the box, I can't change the chart color to fit that gray color that you put as normal background color that I can't change it to fit it. Then if I'm now trying to reduce my chart to fit the box, all of them will just compile. I'll not be able to see anything again.
Okay. All right. Well, I think you've already mentioned the source of your problem. The online version I myself I have not used the online version before, so I don't really know how to tell you how to go about it. But I'll just advise you just try to find someone that can help you download the Microsoft Excel software itself. Because with this software, this one gives you much more flexibility to work with than the online version. You get? So if you're using this particular software, you will see all the functionalities and the tools to remove the background, to resize, reshape without it affecting your work negatively. So do you understand?
Yes, about to get that Excel version is going to, well, I don't
Well,
know.
I think
No
you can,
question.
yeah, you can chat our admin. I think there is a provision for it in Digital World Tech Academy to help people install Microsoft Office for those. So you can chat our admin on the group at the end of the class. So you'll be attended to.
No problem.
Right.
They have told us about it before. Is we have to just pay money for it, and which I don't have it yet. So I'll just keep
Okay. All right.
make
All right. All right.
just make do of what I have.
All right. Thank you. So let
Thank
me
you,
take
sir.
the next person. Um, Emmanuel, Emmanuel Erad Mills. Please have omitted. You please go ahead and ask the question.
Thank you very much. Good evening, guys. Um,
Emmanuel, I can barely hear you. There's a whole lot of echo. Your
uh,
voice is low, and there's a whole lot of echo. The sound is bouncing back to me, and I can barely hear you.
is it better?
It's not.
Is it better? I put my question on the chat, so I wanted to know, can you go back to the original chats after manipulating your slider?
Please, can you drop your question again? Please, just drop your question again. I'll take it in the group. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. So just drop your question. I'll look for it in the group. All right. So I'm moving on to the next person. Ayobami, I've unmuted you. Please go ahead and ask the question.
Thank you, Coach. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Uh, please, I want you to please assist us. I was going to ask the question that I couldn't get the shape where it was easy the other time. That since you as a coach, you know that we have different version in store for us. Maybe you should be giving us the alternative. I've been struggling with it before you now mentioned illustration, and under that side, I got here what I needed to get. But my question for this one is this. Somebody put it on the chat side too. Can we have more than one slicer attached to our chart, like
Okay.
1, 2, 3 or more?
Okay. All right. That's a beautiful question. So is that all?
Yes, that's all.
All right. Thank you very much. So Ilori Ayobami asked a question. He said, "Can we have more than one chart, more than one slicer on our chart?" And the answer is yes. You can have more than one slicer on our chart, and I'm going to do that now. So I'll just go back. Now, I'll create another slicer. I'm just going to insert another slicer. This time, let me use the month. Let me use year. Let me use year because of time. Let me use year. Okay. And just resize this and connect. Remember, it is always important for you to connect. If you don't connect your slicer to your chart, they will not interact. The way you can see how it was changing when you were choosing different years or different regions. If you don't connect, if you don't do what I'm doing now, they will not interact because you did not connect it to any chart. So the moment you create your slicer, just go ahead and connect it to all the charts you have. Now I've connected and I'm just going to copy it and take it to my dashboard. I'm just going to put it in my dashboard. So let me split it into 2 columns. Now I have 2 slicers now. So I can even use them. I can use them as combined. Now imagine now I have 2 slicers, the year and the region. Now imagine my stakeholder is telling me that they are interested in the values in the South in 2021. They want the values. The sales. Remember, this is Adidas sales dashboard. So they want to know the sales record for the Southern region in 2021. It's very, very easy. Since I have the slicers for both, I have region slicer, I have year slicer. I'm going to choose South. And then I'm going to choose 2021. Now, what you are seeing on your screen is for the Southern region in the year 2021. So you can see how I can get multiple analysis from this slicer. So that answers your question, Ayobami. You can have more than one slicer on your data set. Now, for the guy that asked us earlier, Emmanuel, yeah, he said, can we go back to the original charts after manipulating the slicer? Yes, you can. Right now, the values it's showing me is 2021 South. But what if I want to go to the original information without any interaction? How it was before? It's very, very simple. I'll just be that will be done. That will be done on my slicer. So I'll just go to my slicer. Please hold on. I'll just go to my slicer here. There's this button here, this filter button. Remember I said the slicer is an advanced filtering tool. So everything it's just doing is filtering. So for me to go back to the original dashboard, so I'm just going to come to this place, to this filter button. I'm going to cancel it. And then I'll go to the other one again and cancel it and remove it. So now my original dashboard is back. Nothing is being filtered like this. Nothing is being filtered because I've removed it. So I think I've been able to ask those 2 questions in one setting. Let me see. All right, so let's go back to people that are asking questions. Emeka, we have omitted you. Please go ahead and ask your question. Sorry, I can't hear you. Possibly you are using earpiece or another. I can't hear you at all. Are you there? Emeka, are you there?
Okay, you can hear me now.
Please go ahead.
Okay. It's a good one. It's a good one. So what I wanted to find out, you as we were talking yesterday, you said we can somehow, I don't know, that we can slice or sort the years. But if we were to talk to our employers or the organization we are consulting for, how are we likely going to interpret the trend? Because for us to use a line chart is a trend, is a pattern that we want to explain to them. Because this started from if you want to do.
Sorry, let me cut you short. I don't know. Are you talking about a particular chart or the whole dashboard?
A particular chart on the trend, the one we use line charts, because we have to talk. Yeah. Yes, the month they talked about. Yes, sales by month per month.
Okay.
So because as at yesterday, you said we may not want to sort it. So I said, if we get to this point, how are we going to talk to our employers that in so months, this is their achievements, and this is their downtime. So without sorting.
Okay, well, I don't just hold on. Okay, I don't think I get you clearly, but let me just talk about this chart that you're talking about. So this is the chart right here. This is the chart right here. Sales per month. This is it on your screen right here. So when we did the analysis, we didn't sort it. And the reason why I didn't sort it was that I wanted it to show as a trend how it was falling and how it was rising for each month. Because right now, it is very, very easy to portray the highest point. The highest point is right here. So your chart is self-explanatory to any layman. Anybody that is looking at this chart right now that wants to know which which month actually has the highest sales, you only need to look to the highest point, and the highest point is here, where my mouse is now, and that is tracing to July. To look for the lowest month, you just need to look for where it is dipping, where the curve is dipping, and that would be either the March is a low month, October is a low month, November is also a low month. So this chart is already self-explanatory on its own. There's no need for you to. I don't think there's anything more that you need to do. Just like someone said, it's a supply and demand curve. It shows you how it is fluctuating across months. So the chart itself is self-explanatory. I really don't understand how you said you want to portray it to them again. It's already been portrayed. If you want to portray it more, add your data labels. If you want it to portray more, add your data labels so they know the exact value for each month. But this as a line chart, it is showing. That's why I didn't sort it, so that it shows as a trend. This is a trend already. This is a trend already. You can see from January, we had our starting point in January. In January, it dipped. That's a trend already. In January, it dipped. In February, it remains almost the same. In March, it peaked. In May, it peaked. Then in June, it dropped again. In July, it peaked again. August, it remained almost the same. September, it came down. October, it fell drastically. November, it also fell a bit. And then December, it peaked again. So this is fairly readable for anyone to see. So I think it already tells people what they need to know about that. So I'm taking the next person, Mr. K. I've omitted you. Please go ahead and ask the question.
Good evening, sir, and good evening to everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
My question, sir, is when you are building the dashboard, we see how you added the slicers to it, and it is actually interactive. Now, in case where we use non-pivot charts, how are we going to make it interactive with our slicers on our dashboards?
All right, this is a beautiful question. I almost skipped that. Thank you for bringing back my attention to it. Now, guys, if you pay notice to all the charts that I used in this chart, in this dashboard, if you take note to all the charts I use in this dashboard, these charts are the charts that I told you are compatible with the pivot table. These charts are the charts, they are among the first 5 charts that I taught us, and I said they are compatible with the pivot table. Charts that are not compatible with the pivot table, they are not on this dashboard. Charts like waterfall, funnel, map, and so on and so forth, they are not on this dashboard. And the reason why I did not use any of those charts yesterday is because of these slicers. Now, your slicers will only interact. Your slicers will only interact with charts that are compatible with the pivot table. Please let me take that again. Your slicers will only interact with charts that are compatible with your pivot table. Charts like the column chart, the bar chart, the line chart, the area chart. And what's the last one that we have there? And the pie chart. Those 5 charts are the charts that the slicer will interact with. Any other chart apart from that, your slicer will not work with them. They are not compatible. And the reason why they are not compatible is because they were not for us to use the map chart, you need to copy out your information from the pivot table. So it's no longer on the pivot table. And the slicers only work with charts that were built that are compatible rather with the pivot table. So please, when you are using other charts apart from the charts that are directly compatible with pivot table, your slicers will not work. Your slicers will not work. There is no how it can be solved. That is how it is. Yes, it is a limitation. There is no resolution. That is how it is. Because the slicers work directly with the pivot table. They recognize charts that were built to the pivot table. So if you build a chart that is not on the pivot table, automatically it's not, there's no way it can work. Now, it doesn't have to be a serious limitation. All the charts that you have here, the 5 charts that you have here, they are the most common charts used all over. And they are good to represent whatever information you want to represent. I don't think there's any information I don't think there's any data you want to visualize that cannot be effectively represented by a bar chart, a column chart, a line chart, a pie chart, or an area chart. They will tell whatever story you want to tell about your data. So I don't really see them as limitations. I don't really see it as a limitation. All right. All right. So if you have any more questions, I think some questions are coming in on the chat group. Someone said, are there tools that can be used apart from Excel to solve this like Power BI? Yes. In Power BI, you can also do data visualization. And in Power BI, there are more advanced charts than this. There are more advanced charts than this. So when you get to Power BI, you'll be able to use more powerful charts than this one that we have in Excel right now. All right. So do I have any other questions from any other person? Possibly in the comment section, or you want to talk to the whole class, you can just signify and raise up your hand. All right. So I think with that, I think I've been able to attend to everyone that had a question. So I think with that, I will have to we will have to bring tonight's class to a close. We've been able to learn this weekend, we've been able to learn some major things. Last night, we completed our charts and we did dashboard building. And today, we were able to build a live dashboard and import all our charts into the dashboard. And then we're also able to have the slicer interact with every single chart that we have there. So some little questions are still coming in. Let me see. Someone said, what about the pie chart? So what about the pie chart? I don't know. The pie chart are also interacting. I don't know. What about the pie chart? Do you please be specific? Yeah, someone said if you send the dashboard to the stakeholders, will it be interactive on their own end? Yes. If you send this Excel file to anybody, it will be interactive on their own end. They don't need to do anything to it. They just need to start interacting. Yes, it will be interacting on their own end if you send it to them as an Excel file. But somebody said, how about if you send it to a PDF file? Yes, you can send it on a PDF file. But all of us knows how PDF works. If you should generate this as a PDF file, you will lose your interactiveness. Because right now, you cannot click on the slicers on a PDF. You cannot click on the slicers on a PDF. So you will lose your interactivity. Half pie chart. I honestly don't know what you mean by half pie chart. I taught you 2 types of pie charts, pie chart and donut chart. I didn't teach a half pie chart. So I don't know where you got that from. Yes, can we lock dashboard? Yes, you can lock your sheet. In the beginning of your exact class, you were taught how to lock sheets. So this whole dashboard is just on this sheet. So if you lock this sheet, if you lock this worksheet, you are going to lock the whole everything on the worksheet. So nobody will be able to tamper with your data. How did I make the chart gray like the background? Tina, you will have to watch the beginning of the class and saw how I made the background gray. It's very, very simple. It's just a shape and I color the shape. So I'll be dropping the replay so you can watch the replay and see how I did that. Now, someone is asking me, must my dashboard contain a slicer all the time? No, your slicers are not compulsory, but they just improve the analysis. They improve the amount and the kind of analysis you can do. If you want to represent your chart without using slicers, go ahead and leave it without slicers. Your dashboard is still valid. And if you want to include slicers, include slicers. But with that data analysis, just include slicers because it allows us to do more. And you could see it allows us to interact, get more analysis, get more story behind the data. That's why data analysts use slicers. But if you feel you don't want to use slicers and your dashboard is good to go, you can do without it. Yeah, Stage is asking me how I change the color of one of the bars. I will refer you to the video of last night. I showed us how to change the colors of each bars. So please watch the video and you're going to get that. I did that multiple times in the last night's video, and then you'll be able to get that. Someone said I didn't group. How do I want to group? It's very easy. If I want to group the whole thing, I just say Control A. If I want to group the whole thing, I just press Control A. Can you see everything has been selected? I just press Control A, I right click, and then I group. Now everything is grouped, and I can move. Hold on, please. Everything is grouped, and I can move the whole thing. Can you see? Everything is being moved as one. I can move it, I can copy it, do whatever I like because I've grouped that. So that's very easy. Thank you for that question. So Control A, right click and group, and then you've grouped you've grouped every single thing on that. So thank you, Ruth. I think I've answered you. All right. So Martins, yes, definitely you're going to get an assignment. So what I'm just going to be doing is I'm going to be dropping another data set rather. Another data set. We've been working on Adidas since last week. So we are moving on to another data set. So I'm going to be dropping a fresh data set at the end of the class as an assignment. Now, this is what our assignment is going to entail. We're going to perform an analysis on that assignment, perform an analysis, get your charts, and build an interactive dashboard. When I say interactive dashboard, we are building a dashboard with slicers. You're going to be building a dashboard with slicers. So that is that's what is going to be in our assignment that we're going to get after tonight's class. All right. So that will bring me to an end of this particular interesting topic in Microsoft Excel. So it is my pleasure once again to have taken you guys through this topic in Excel. It's a very, very beautiful topic in Excel where you are going to be doing so much analysis of your data. So like I said, it's my pleasure. And I'd just like to thank every single one of us that joined us tonight. So with that, I'd just like to say goodbye from Digital World Tech Academy. My name remains Babajide, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Let's have a great weekend and good night to everyone.